resonator, no muffler, and I gotta say, it's relatively quiet. It's loud when you want it to be, but it's quiet when you don't need it to be loud. Just cruising, it's easy. To slow down, I'll downshift a couple of times and I'll accelerate a little bit so I can get a better idea of the volume. It's a 2-inch, it's the stock size piping, so it's about 2-inch piping. It costs altogether about $210 about to get it custom done. One of these days I'll make a video of the cold start and a little bit of revs, maybe a launch control, we'll see. Downshift into fourth, about 47, having about 2,700 RPM. Currently what I have on the car is any modifications. I have changed out the light bulbs, the headlights, anyway, the bulbs for LED bulbs. I essentially did a modification for the shifter. I essentially took out the extra piece that was in the top of the shifter. Where you actually rest your hand. Well, don't rest your hand on it, but still. And I shortened it, so it's a quicker action now a little bit just by shortening the leverage, the amount of leverage needed. The exhaust is 2-inch from the cat back, straight pipe from the cat back, and I also have the Honda tuner currently running the 3 PSI tune. Right before this I was running the 9 PSI. It felt fine. It was, to be honest, a little bit crazy. Maybe I was planning on actually using the 9 PSI again at some point soon, so maybe I'll do a video on that, show you what acceleration is like with that. It's not slow. It outdoor gearing. The 3 PSI is a little bit more, has more what I would call more of a neutral rev band. Turbo kicks in, turbo boost kicks in at the same time it normally does, but the torque curve is much flatter. It's higher than it is stock, but it's flatter, which is a positive. And then, you know, when you go to the 6 PSI one, it just raises the torque curve a bit. The horsepower stays almost the same. Yeah, that's at about 3,500 RPM off throttle. It'll drone a little bit, but so going downhill it drones a little bit if you're just leaving it in gear, keeping your foot off the brake. Has a, you know, a nice amount of sound. It's not overly jarring. It's not too loud, you know. I see a lot of people making the mistake of just putting on gigantic piping, and I get with the turbo engine, you know, it can really benefit to have larger piping, but I mean, the sound is like it's gonna drive you crazy over time, you know. At least if you keep the stock piping, it's not too loud. Previously, before this, I had just a muffler delete with the same size piping. Recently got the resonator taken off, and it's with the resonator still on and just a muffler delete, it is very, very manageable on the highway. You can't really hear it at all unless you're like under hard throttle, so that's a plus. You know, if you don't want too much noise, that's the way to go, but it will still make a bit of noise when you want it to. So, and you could also hear the turbo a lot better, especially with the Honda tune. I have the increased turbo response, so you really hear the turbo spooling, and whenever you're, let's say, under even like at least like half throttle, and you'll just hear the turbo like whooshing, like it's almost no exhaust sound at that point. It's mostly just turbo, but it's a cool sound. It's a cool sound. So, yeah, 2018 Honda Civic Sport hatchback with the 6-speed manual. It's a fun car. Only thing I regret, I do regret not getting the SI just because I really wanted the limited slip and, you know, like the Apple CarPlay and stuff like that. In 2018, they didn't have the Sport Touring. You couldn't get the Sport Touring with the manual, only the Sport. So, you know, that is what it is, but in the end, it would have just made more more sense to get an SI versus a Sport Touring, right? Adjustable dampers is definitely nice. But yeah, so that concludes this video. If you guys want to see more, if you guys want to see like an exhaust clip or something, cold start, just let me know. I could do that. Have a good one.